Hi, my name's Sarah Jane West Watson. And my business is Fit Fanny Adams. So I am absolutely 100% dedicated to enabling women to re-engage with their core, re-engage with their pelvic floor, re-engage with their breath, and feel overall strong and healthy, and to know importantly when things aren't right. So having understood a little bit about the Action Against Womb Cancer group, which I think is absolutely fantastic support network, I offered to give you a little bit of insight into how you might get some benefit out of re-engaging with your breath and your pelvic floor after some of the medical journeys that you very amazing ladies have been on. So I work a lot with clients who are post-hysterectomy or post-gynae surgery, and many people think that I'm going to be all about getting fit and getting up and about and doing some crazy stuff. And interestingly, I take people back a step. And by that I mean I go right back to breathing. So going through any surgical event is a major emotional thing, as you guys will well know. So what I try and do is I try and take things right back to re-educating the breath. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to place one hand on your chest and one hand on your lower belly. So let me see if I can. So one hand on the breath and one hand on the lower belly down here. Now I want you to put it on the bit that we don't really like, the bit where it all hangs out, okay? So don't take a nice breath in for me and exhale. Close your eyes, breathe in and breathe out. Now I want you to have a little think about which hand is moving the most. Is it the top hand or is it the bottom hand? Okay, go back and do it if you need to. Now I am going to put a few pennies on, it will be your top hand that's moving the most. And this means you're breathing a lot from your chest muscles. If you're breathing from your chest muscles, if you go back and take your mind back to the anatomy of the lungs back a while ago, school days, triangular in your chest. So if you're breathing just from up here, then you're only filling the tops of the lungs. So your gas exchange, your oxygen, getting those red blood cells full of oxygen isn't optimal. So we need to start using the base, the wide part of the lungs. And I'm going to get you to do that by doing the diaphragmatic breath. Loads of clips on YouTube, loads of yogis teaching how to do it, but I'm going to give you a little an intro here. So get your feet nice and flat on the floor. Pop those hands into that lower belly, so well underneath your belly button, sort of top of the bikini line and top of your knicker line, and close your eyes. Now I want you to visualise as you breathe in, I want you to let the air just pull all the way deep into your belly, into the pit of your pelvic cavity. Okay, so nice breath into your pelvic cavity. Let your tummy fall out onto your hands. Now as you exhale, I want you to lift that lower belly, lift that bikini line, lift the pelvic floor to exhale the air out. Breathe in, hands filling with that tummy. Exhale, lift and squeeze the pelvic floor. Breathe in, exhale, lift and squeeze the pelvic floor. So what you're doing is your belly is filling as you inhale, exhale, lifting and squeezing. Breathing in, inhale, exhale, it's lifting and squeezing. And what that enables, it enables your diaphragm to get a lot more depth and enables that gas exchange in the bottom of your lungs. It also does a good abdominal massage on your digestive organs, which is fabulous if things are a little bit blocked up, which can often happen post-surgically as well. So that is the first and foremost thing about breathing. It's fabulous for relaxation, fabulous for anxiety. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep, pop your hands on your tummy and go back to that diaphragmatic breath, and it will calm you down and relax you and hopefully send you off back to sleep. So a couple of the key things that I'm asked about with post-gynae and post-hysterectomy clients is how to engage and how to get their pelvic floor strong again. And I try to say to people to understand that their pelvic floor has gone through massive, massive trauma. So I don't want you... Oh, excuse me. So I don't want you to underestimate the extent of that trauma and think, oh, I should be able to do better, I should be able to engage. Think of it as if you just had a broken leg or a broken arm or a serious injury to another part of your body, you wouldn't suddenly start leaping up and down on that limb. And it's really important we start to understand and start to address our pelvic floor as a key component in our body that we need to treat with a little bit of love and a little bit of respect. So perhaps you've been advised to do some Kegel exercises and you're sort of sitting in the car or sitting in a queue in the shop, squeezing, letting go, maybe stopping your urine flow mid-flow. Stop that. Total waste of time. In fact, it can overstimulate a bladder, so particularly if you have things like bit of urge incontinence, or if you get bladder cramps, or if you're prone to cystitis. That's all key indicators of an oversensitive bladder. So what I want you to think about doing is going right back to the belly breath, and I'm going to teach you how to do a Kegel. If you like blueberries, you're never going to look at one in the same light. So, get those feet flat on the floor. And what I want you to do, close your eyes, take your attention back down to the breath. So start doing some nice belly breaths. Now I want you to take your attention to your back passage, to your anus, to the opening of your anus, okay? Now I want you to visualise that you have got a blueberry sat at the entrance. Don't do anything yet. Now I want you to take that muscle, that sphincter muscle, and I want you to squeeze around the entrance to the anus. Really visualise that blueberry getting squashed in the middle like it's got a belt drawing around the middle of it. Get the tension tight there. Hold it there. Now as you exhale, I want you to draw that blueberry deep inside you, up into your rectum. Okay. Nice breath there. Now I don't want you to be squeezing bum cheeks or grunting your teeth. It's a very subtle movement, but get that lift. Once you've got that lift, I want you to take your attention forwards to the entrance to your vagina. Okay? Now I want you to take another blueberry and I want you to place it at the base of your vagina and squeeze those sphincter muscles around it. Get the tension on. Really see that waist of that blueberry corseting in. When you've got good tension, I want you to lift and draw that blueberry inside of you. Nice breath in. Keep the shoulders and chest relaxed. Take the attention backwards. Don't forget your back blueberry. And lift it back up. Big breath in there. Engage. Extra little squeeze. Now I want you to think about putting those sitting bones together. Think about every direction, that pelvic floor underneath. So side to side, get that squeeze on in every direction. Really big breath in and exhale. Let everything go. So that is a deep Kegel, a deep pelvic floor activation. And it means that you are getting that squeeze at the entrances and getting that lift through the smooth tubular muscle of the rectum and the rectal wall and the vaginal wall. Great for getting blood flow, great for reconnecting, and also great for down training. So it's really important that you down train your pelvic floor as much as you up train it. So when I say just release and let go, what I mean is just literally enjoy the sort of softening and opening of the pelvic floor and all of your orifices. Just let everything go. I'm not saying push and bear down, never. I'm just saying soften and open. So the best time to do that Kegel activation is if you find yourself standing for a prolonged period of time. Post-operatively, if you think, I've got no feeling, no connection, no way that I can get anything happening down there. Don't beat yourself up too much about it. Really use a visualization, because in the early stages it's much about getting that muscle memory and the movement pattern back. Always start with the back. Always for women we start with the back. So start with your back passage, squeeze around the sphincter, then lift. Take your attention forward to the vagina, squeeze, lift, and get that deep contraction in what I call it sort of the sling and the hammock of the pelvic floor all the way around, lifting. You'll feel it, you can feel it in your lower abdominal as well as if you're doing it correctly, and get that contraction held there. So that is really where I would encourage you all to start to reconnecting with everything that's going on down in the pelvic region. If people are struggling with a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension and tightness, then that's another real massive issue for women. And I've worked with a lot of women to help them to sort of soften, to release that tension, to help with things like intimacy issues post-hysterectomy, which is really, really common and totally understandable. Is I think that sometimes that whole disconnect with everything that's going on down there, people just sort of don't feel that they want anyone down there, and why would they? And you don't feel sexy, and you feel that your femininity has been removed. And I think if you go back to that breath, you go back to the belly breathing, start to bathe all those pelvic organs, bathe your bladder, bathe, if you haven't had your ovaries removed, bathe those ovaries, bathe any area, your vaginal wall, all of it. Breathe in that energy and that light down into that right region to get yourself reconnected. Lastly, and I know I've kind of going a crazy whistle-stop tour, but the last thing I want to talk to you about is a really frequent issue that I know a lot of women have. I myself suffered with this postnatally. I've been fortunate, touch wood, not to have any gynae surgery, but postnatally I wasn't voiding properly, which ironically was how I got into this whole wonderful world of Fit Fanny Adams. So I wasn't voiding properly, and I had no idea what to do about it, and the GP told me not to worry about it and that it was perfectly normal. Well, it's not. It can lead to cystitis, as probably you well know. So if you're not voiding and you feel you get up, you have a little leak, often people might stand up from the loo, they wipe, they stand up, and then there's a trickle going down the legs. Or as they're walking back to the chair, that's when the trickle happens. Or 10 minutes later, like, flipping heck, I need to go again. Again, it's perfectly normal. It's because there's been so much invasion around that bladder and around the urethra that often you get tensions, you get tissues, you get sagging in the actual bladder wall, which can mean that there might just be a little pocket of urine that's not able to empty. So we're going to manually help that. Really, really simple. Don't get scared. Go back to hula hooping. So if you think that you're sitting on the lavatory, the really important peeing position on the lavatory is, however tired, exhausted, whatever you feel, I want you to bring yourself really upright, and that tips immediately your bladder into the optimal position for you to pee. Okay? Get your feet nice and relaxed. Now go back to that letting go. Think of your sphincter muscles. If they're tight, they close. So you have to relax and let them go, and let them open. So take your attention to your breath. Sit up really nice and tall. And just let everything go. Use gravity to let the bladder empty. Now, before you move, I want you to do a few pelvic tilts. So tuck the bottom under, come right forward. Tuck the bottom under, come right forward. And then you can take it into a little bit of a all the way around. And what you're doing is you're really working that bladder and that pelvic floor to just start to move any urine that's left in it around, and it will tip it out. Have a go then at standing up. You might find you get a bit of a second wind, so to speak, and you can fully void. Stand yourself up, have a little shake, go and wash your hands. Even there, just have a little wiggle, tip forwards and back and forwards and back. Re-sit down, make sure there's nothing left in there, and then stand up. And you should feel then that you are fully voiding. If you're not still fully voiding at that point, I would actually go back and get a referral back with your GP or your urologist, because it obviously means that your bladder isn't fully emptying, and if you try to manually assist it, then you don't want to have that urine left in. So they're kind of my 3 initial biggies. A badillion others. We talk about poopy positions, straining, how to breathe while you're pooing, positions that might help intercourse. Where do we go? How to sit, how to stand, how to feel and lift everything up. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you want, is message through the group back to Deborah, or you can email me directly if you like. I'm sarahjane@fitfannyadams.com. I'll make sure that that is in the info that goes with this YouTube clip, and ask me what you want to know, and then I can make sure that I can do another little spiel that's tackling some of the questions that you want to know. I am a no holds barred. If I can't help you, I will tell you, or I'll tell you, signpost you to where you need to go. But there's probably no question that I haven't heard already. And if I haven't heard it, I need to hear that question. But I just like to say, hang in there, and please do know that there are people out there who can support you if you need it. Thank you very much.